Hey guys, how you doing? Mr. Perry here. So we are starting our World War One unit. Okay, so World War One can be very confusing, and it's an often misunderstood war. So this video is going to be a little bit longer than the others, but the good news is, with the way that we're doing things, is you're gonna have only social studies on Thursday, and you're gonna have an entire week to do my lessons. You're going to have a packet of 3 assignments, and one assignment is about America just before World War One. It has nothing to do with World War One, but I wanted you to know about our national parks. The other is about Woodrow Wilson, and then the outbreak of war in Europe. The world is on pins and needles in 1914. As you can see with this map right here, Europe used to look much different. Today, just to show you an example of what Europe looks like today, these are all the countries in Europe today. Down here you have Montenegro, Macedonia, Albania. Those places did not even exist. And as you can see, many places have popped up outside of Germany and such. So what makes World War One so interesting is because it was like the worst case scenario for all the things that happened. There was a war in the 1870s called the Franco-Prussian War. Franco referring to France. Prussians are what they used to call Germany. There was an area of Germany called Prussia, and the war was called the Franco-Prussian War. The Prussians win that war, and with the peace treaty with France, they create the country of Germany. That is how Germany came to be. It was kind of like the American Revolution, how we had to win our war to become a country. Well, all of those little states that used to be part of Germany, like Prussia, Saxony, all those places, they form a unified Germany. And Germany, from the get-go, realizes that they're surrounded. They are surrounded by people that wish them ill. Their biggest rival throughout their entire existence has been France. But you see the Russians here on the east. You see Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland up here eventually. So you have all of these. Germany is encircled, and so they make it their goal to be as militarily powerful as possible. The Germans are a very nationalistic people. Nationalistic means extremely proud of their heritage, extremely proud of their country. Now, nationalism can take a dark turn, and in Germany, during both world wars, that nationalism does take a darker turn. But nowhere in World War One, it is nowhere near as dark as it would become under the Nazis and Adolf Hitler. So in Germany, I apologize for my stuff banging in the background. Let me turn that on mute. So through those 3 decades, Germany is building up. And there's another empire that I guarantee you've probably never heard of that is going to play a major role in this, and that's the Austro-Hungarians. The Austro-Hungarian Empire makes up the present-day countries of Croatia, Slovenia, Slovakia, Hungary, all of these places you see right here. Macedonia, Kosovo, Montenegro, Albania, Bulgaria, you name it. Or not Bulgaria, excuse me. But they're part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. They were led by a person named Franz Joseph. Let me show you this handsome devil here. Franz Joseph I. This handsome devil. As you can tell, he is old. Franz Joseph is old, and he has set up his successorship. Because it was an empire, it was a monarchy. And his successor is Franz Ferdinand, his nephew. Man, I'm jealous of this mustache. Look at that. So, Franz Joseph is going to take over the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Down here, we'll see other empires that you don't know. The Ottoman Empire, that is ran by the Ottoman Turks. That is a Muslim empire, and it is called, it is the dead man of Europe. The Ottoman Empire keeps losing power, and they are pretty much a corpse at this point, but they will fight in the war and do absolutely nothing correct, pretty much. So they will play a role, though. So the other thing that you need to know looking at this map is all of these countries have treaties or agreements with each other. They all, one way or the other, have agreements with each other. Great Britain and France are pals. They have been, for like 1,000 years, Britain and France have hated each other. But over the last 200 years or so, they've started getting along, and now they are pretty much best friends in Europe. So the French and the British are friendly. The French and the British and the Russians are friendly. The Germans and the Austro-Hungarians are pals. The Ottomans are pals with the Germans and the Austro-Hungarians. Oh man, it's getting confusing, I know. And then all of these little countries down here, Bulgaria, Romania, Serbia, they really hate the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Because the Austro-Hungarians are pushing into their land. Now, you have to realize that it's all about race. It's all about nationalism. Like, these people don't want to lose their identities as Serbians, as Bulgarians. So, they hold a lot of ill will towards the Austro-Hungarians. Well, down here in what is today Bosnia, so let's show you where that is in modern Europe, right here, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The capital city is Sarajevo. As you can see, Bosnia does not exist under the Austro-Hungarian rule. And the people in Bosnia hate being a part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. They've lost their identity. So, the wheels of destiny, and that's what I always talk about in history, is like how just once the first domino hits, the entire row falls down. Our pal, Franz Ferdinand, is going to make a visit to Sarajevo, down here at the southern border of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. He is going to go, and they're going to have a military parade. There are people in Bosnia, down here, that are willing to do whatever it takes to destroy the Austro-Hungarian Empire. There are multiple we would call them terrorist groups or anarchist groups, people that were willing to kill to get their way. They had the Black Hand, Young Bosnia, people like that. And so, under the cover of darkness, in these little pubs and inns, basements of homes, you name it, a group of young people, I'm talking barely older than you guys, 18, 19 years old. They start plotting a way to take out the successor to the throne. In July of 1914, Franz Ferdinand is making a trip to Sarajevo. For the weeks leading up to Franz Ferdinand's visit, the papers all around the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and especially down in Sarajevo, are publishing all the plans, are talking about when he's going to be at the parade, all of that stuff. And a group of young people decide that they are going to kill the Archduke of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So, Gavrilo Princip, 19 years old. Gavrilo Princip is a member, we believe he was a member of Young Bosnia, or at least a loose collection of people fighting against the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And this group of young men decide that they are going to line the streets of Sarajevo on the day of the parade, and they are going to assassinate the Archduke. Princip is only one of many assassins. I want you to remember that. He was not the only person in that parade route that was trying to kill the Archduke. So the day of the parade comes, and there's the normal pomp and circumstance of the parade. There's cars upon cars, there's men on horseback, there's soldiers marching. And as the Archduke's car reaches the main thoroughfare, the first assassin of Young Bosnia jumps out. He was armed with a bomb, kind of like a hand grenade. He throws the hand grenade, and by a complete stroke of luck on the part of Franz Ferdinand, but unlucky for the assassin, it hits the back of his convertible top and bounces to the car behind it, wounding a couple of people. This assassin takes off running towards the river, and he tries to swallow a cyanide tablet that he had put under his tongue, but the cyanide wasn't strong enough. He wanted to kill himself. Instead, all he does is start vomiting next to the water, and he's arrested. And right then and there, all of the assassins that were lined on the streets say, "Oh man, we're screwed. We've been found out. Time to call it quits." Because the parade's over, the Archduke's car speeds off to City Hall. So Gavrilo Princip and the other assassins kind of just walk away like, well, we blew our chance. Princip goes to a bar and buys a sandwich and a beer for lunch. I want you to think about this. Not even a movie script writer in Hollywood would write something like this because it doesn't sound believable. But history can be, even the strangest stuff can be true. Princip is sipping a beer and having a sandwich at a local restaurant. The Archduke has finished chewing out the mayor of Sarajevo about his lack of security. His driver is not from Sarajevo. His driver is driving him around Sarajevo lost. The Archduke's car turns down the road, and on the corner of that road is Gavrilo Princip drinking his beer. And then his car dies. You talk about the fates of history playing perfectly into this event. The Archduke's driver cannot get his car started. And Princip is sitting, because in Europe, the cafes are like outdoors. You sit outdoors. And he's looking, he goes, "Oh my God, that's the Archduke and his wife." He puts down his beer. He puts down his sandwich. He stands up and he pulls out the pistol out of his coat pocket. He aims, and he unleashes the entire clip on the Archduke and his wife. Princip is immediately arrested. He is tackled by citizens and policemen alike. And the Archduke's driver, just as those shots ring out, gets the car started. 5 seconds either way, and the Archduke survives. As they're driving away, the Archduke is bleeding down his tunic, and Sophie, his wife, slumps over into his lap, and he screams, "Please, Sophie, don't die. Stay alive for the children." But by the time they get to the hospital, they're both dead on arrival. Gavrilo Princip, a 19-year-old nobody, has just killed the next monarch of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So how does this play into World War I? Well, Austria-Hungary blames Serbia for the assassination. There is circumstantial evidence that Serbia might have funded these things like the Black Hand. Austria-Hungary says, we're going to declare war on you, Serbia, unless you become part of our empire. They had to give up all their freedom. And Serbia says no. So Austria-Hungary starts attacking Serbia. Serbia has a BFF. It's Russia. So Russia is now invading Austria-Hungary. Austria-Hungary has a BFF. It's Germany. So now Germany and Russia are fighting. Germany wants to invade France, so they go through Belgium to get to France. Well, when they go through Belgium to get to France, it makes Great Britain mad because Great Britain has a non-ending treaty with Belgium to protect their sovereignty. So with this one shot at this one parade in Sarajevo, the dominoes have fallen and the world is at war. Hopefully this video helped you do your packet for next week, and hopefully you found it interesting. I miss you kids, and I hope you're still learning and working hard and staying safe. See you later, guys.